Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're opening up a very, very important document, the Constitution of Zimbabwe. Specifically, we're looking at Chapter 8, which is all about the judiciary and the courts. We're going to break this down in simple, plain English so every single citizen understands exactly what it means for you, your family, and your community. So let's dive right in. So let's start with a really simple question. If you have a serious disagreement with a neighbor, or if you feel your rights have been taken away by someone, who protects you? Well, think about a local football game. To make sure that game is played fairly and that no one breaks the rules or cheats, you need a referee, right? Just like a football game needs a referee to keep things fair, everyday life in Zimbabwe needs a fair system to settle disputes. And that is exactly what our courts are for. Now, Section 162 of our Constitution tells us something incredibly powerful. It says that judicial authority derives from the people of Zimbabwe. That word derives simply means comes from. So the actual power of the courts comes directly from you, the ordinary citizens. It's there to ensure fairness and protection for everyone. The courts don't just exist for the leaders or the wealthy, they belong to you. Now, you might hear the big word judiciary on the radio or in the newspaper. Don't let it confuse you. This word simply means our official team of courts, judges, and magistrates all across the country. From the highest judge in the capital city to the local magistrate right in your district, they are all part of the judiciary. Their one job is to make sure the laws are followed.
The different types of courts. Where exactly do you go for different problems?
Well, depending on your problem, we have different courts to handle it. Step 1. If it's a local disagreement, maybe over a cow or a field boundary, you go to the customary law courts or the magistrates' courts. Step 2. For bigger issues like serious crimes or a major workplace problem, we have the High Court, the Labor Court, and the Administrative Court. Then, Step 3 is the Supreme Court. This is for appeals, which basically means when you think a lower court made a mistake and you want a higher judge to take a second look. Finally, Step 4 is the Constitutional Court. The absolute biggest, most important questions about our rights go right up there. But this brings us to a really crucial question. What happens if a powerful person, like a wealthy business owner or even the government, is part of the disagreement? Can politicians or powerful people tell our judges what to do or how to rule?
Courts must be independent. That's Section 164 of the Constitution.
To answer that question, Section 164 is very, very clear. The courts are completely independent and they answer only to the law. Our Constitution says judges must apply the law fairly without fear, favor, or prejudice. And prejudice just means judging someone before you actually know the facts. So this means no one, absolutely no one, not even the government or the police, can interfere with a judge. Plus, every decision a court makes has to be obeyed by everyone, no matter how rich or powerful they are. This guarantees a fair referee for all citizens.
Next up, guiding principles for judges, or how we keep the referees fair. To make sure judges stay honest, Section 165 gives them some really strict rules. It says justice must be done to all, irrespective of status. This beautifully simple rule means whether you live in a rural village or you work in the middle of a big city, the courts have to treat you exactly the same. Your wealth or your job does not change how the law treats you.
And to keep things completely clear, the Constitution literally lists out what judges can and cannot do. While judges have the power to protect our human rights freely and to resolve cases without wasting time, there is a strict line they can't cross. They are completely forbidden from joining political parties, attending political meetings, or taking gifts. They can't ask for money for any political group. Their one and only loyalty has to be to justice.
Moving on to choosing and removing judges. Finding the right people for the job.
Because judges have so much power over our lives, Section 180 creates a really clear, open way to choose them. Becoming a judge doesn't just happen in secret. First, the open position has to be advertised. Second, the public can nominate people. Third, there are public interviews of the candidates. Imagine that, the public actually gets to see the interviews. Then a list of 3 qualified choices is prepared, and the president appoints one from that list. Oh, and to be a judge in the higher courts, you have to be at least 40 years old.
But what if a judge does a bad job? Well, to stop them from being fired just because they made a fair decision against someone powerful, Section 187 says they can only be removed for very serious failures. This includes inability, which means being physically unable to work, gross incompetence, meaning not knowing the law at all, or gross misconduct, which means doing something very illegal. And even then, they can only be removed after a strict investigation by a special, completely independent committee.
Now for the Judicial Service Commission.
watching over the courts. So you might be wondering, who is actually making sure the judges and magistrates are following all these rules day to day? Well, Section 189 introduces the Judicial Service Commission, or the JSC. Think of the JSC as the official watchdog. They watch over the entire court system to make absolutely sure judges stay independent and answer for their actions. Section 191 says the JSC must do its business in a just, fair, and transparent manner. And transparent just means hiding nothing from the public. Everything is out in the open. They are there to make sure everything runs smoothly and that the courts serve you the exact way the Constitution demands. Okay, we've covered a lot today, but the absolutely most important lesson from Chapter 8 is this. The final power of the courts comes from you, the people. Keep learning about your rights because this fair system, it belongs to you. So now that you know this, how will you use this knowledge to protect your rights and your neighbors? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking questions and keep learning.